Sharon! Sharon!
Respect.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing?
What's going on, Mr. Fishbeck, aka the logo?
Oh, just learning how to use StreamYards without putting anything in. For those of you that have never watched this channel before, I'm Rob Fishbeck. This is my good friend Akili Carter, aka Sir Joker. I go by many names, so you can just call me Rob. We used to pay for StreamYards. We no longer do that because we just do this for shits and gigs when we feel like it, or when there's really cool news that's going on out there. And the free plan on StreamYards used to let you do X, Y, and Z. You can't do any of the letters of the alphabet anymore other than go live. So that was my attempt at an intro video. But Mr. Carter, dude, we're back. We haven't streamed since what, April?
Probably. I've been super into the parenting realm. Devin graduated from high school. Armani moved up to middle school. Heaven moved up to high school. Ayana's going into her second year of being a working nurse. So I've been a lot into the parenting world. I haven't even been online. I've been seeing a bunch of movies. But, we can get into all of that stuff, sir.
Yeah, we'll get into all that as well. Like, I feel like this is great to do, and I'm glad we're doing it. And I hope we do this a couple more times this year. But like, this is almost like going to it's like almost like going back to high school when you're like in your mid-20s.
Yeah.
Like my new life is behind the camera, not in front of the camera. I can't give too much away on any of that, just because I'm very superstitious and many other things. But let's say it does involve writing. So, but yeah, my new life is like not in front of people, like not performing in front of people, not doing this in front of people. It's totally behind the scenes. So like sometimes 3 weeks goes by and I'm like, shit, I gotta shave my neck. But and I know you've just been slaying it. You got all these work business venture things that you've been doing and slaying all of that and raising the family, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, raising a family has been probably number one. Building as best I can, Carter Life coaching, and that's a bunch of different services under that, but it's really trying to just help people. I've had this influx probably over the I've been working with a lot of people with ADHD and anxiety, and I just feel like this year it's been on tilt on 100, where people have so much stuff going on just internally, and there's so much angst about, obviously, and this is not about the president, so much angst about
we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. No
about
problem.
the presidency.
There's nothing off limits here. There's nobody in the Jeffrey Epstein files. Can you believe it? It's the wildest thing. We all talked about it for many years. How there's a whole long climb.
Yep.
Nothing to see here.
Yep.
Why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison? We should pardon her immediately. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I've been very frustrated lately.
There's a lot of shit going on around politics, around the state of the country, and I've probably said this 100 times, and I think when we did the episode of Overtly, when we talked about going into the election, it was divisive then, and it's super divisive now. And I tell people,
worse. It's like, dude. Okay, so sorry to hijack this.
No, go, please.
You deal with people with ADHD all day long. I am the fucking poster boy child of it. So the Jeffrey Epstein memo from Pam Bondi's DOJ dropped Sunday night 2 weeks ago at 10 p.m., 9:30, 10 p.m. My time. And 2 days later on Tuesday, they did their cabinet meeting. And the reporters were asking questions, and obviously they're going to bring up Jeffrey Epstein, like try not to use the R word right now, but like, what are you, blank? Like, of course they're going to bring it up. Okay. And he goes, you guys are still talking about this Jeffrey Epstein? And I'm watching this shit going, what is happening right now? Like, so long story short, I take my grandma to go get her nails done like 3 hours later, and I'm in the grocery store. Dude, I feel things. I have not felt that negative, depressing down of an energy in that grocery store since 2020, since like summer of 2020. And I was just like, you know, some MAGA people are easy to spot. Some left people are easy to spot. Most of us, you don't know what our politics are, but everybody looked like they just like lost their grandfather. Because this goes back to, okay, so you gotta stay with me for a second. Trust in institutions. Okay. One of the reasons I am a massive supporter of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is because he has talked a lot about distrust in institutions. And it goes back to the killing of his uncle and his own father, and Dr. Martin Luther King, who was very good friends with both John and Robert Kennedy. The Catholic Church. The reason that there has been a steep decline in the Catholic Church for the last 25 years is because when all of the sexual pedophilia stuff came out about the Catholic Church, people said, well, I no longer can trust you. I can't trust you anymore. So you saw the idea of mega churches getting bigger and bigger, non-denominational Christians, evangelical Christians, et cetera, et cetera. Now, yes, we have seen, especially in Gen Zers, an increase of young men going to church. People like Charlie Kirk, all those kinds of folks talk about this, and there is some real data there. And that's a different conversation about just kind of needing guidance in the world, right? And some people can find it in a father or a father figure, and some people find it in church. People find it various places, specifically for men. But with this Jeffrey Epstein thing, I have a lot of theories. They're all speculation because none of us really know the truth. But it doesn't matter if it was Kamala Harris or Trump or Joe Biden or Barack Obama or Dick Cheney or J.D. Vance. The fact that they think we're fucking stupid. They think we're stupid, Akili. Like, excuse me. What is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison for? Human trafficking, sex trafficking. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about pimps and hookers. Okay, we'll use this in broader terms. Okay, you can claim you're a pimp, and you can have hookers that hang out at your house that are loose women. Okay, but if they don't have sex with any Johns, you're not trafficking. You're not committing any crimes. So why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison? And as we're going live on this show, this is the second day in a row she's been talking with the DOJ all day long. I apologize for interrupting. You were saying something.
You're fine. No, you're fine. It's just and this goes to it because what I have been saying a lot, and I have clients that are on both sides of the red carpet, and what I've come to and what I've told people is that no matter who won, it would have been very divisive and very hostile. And I tell people all the time, you guys act like Trump and Kamala coming to your house for dinner, like you're so invested. They're not. They're not coming. They're not knocking on your door to say, "Oh, hey, what are you having for dessert?" And to me, the divisiveness and the struggle and the sadness, just so many people have told me, I'm scared. I don't have hope. And to me, that's worse than politics when people tell me they don't have hope.
I'm halfway there, dude. Like, I mean, I already said it. I'm a big Kennedy supporter, and the fact that they're getting the dyes and the artificial colorings and the preservatives and stuff out of our food. Let me tell you something. For all you guys out there that have ADHD like I do, amongst things. Okay,
Yep.
let me tell you something. From the creamer that I use in my coffee to eating as often as I can Whole Foods. Now, don't get me wrong. I just got back from Southern Indiana, and I had plate of barbecue one night and fried chicken the next night. So look, it's not every day.
No.
But I'm telling you, like Scout's Honor, you guys start taking the right vitamins. You start getting X amount of sunlight every day, exercising, living with Earth. Okay.
Yep.
Your symptoms of ADHD will go down. I'm living proof of it, you know? So I've been living this now for like 9 months, 6 months, really. But, it's nice. So but that being said, like all the great things that I'm so happy are happening with our food and amongst other things. And like, just kind of the general consensus to like live healthier lives. You know, there's nothing wrong with like body positivity and everything, but like to live health, that's great. But none of that matters if we don't have a country. None of that matters if we don't have morale. None of that matters if people can't pay their bills, if the interest rates don't go down, if, you know, and it's like, yeah, Trump's right. Okay, price of eggs went down. Well, that partially had to do with bird flu, right? Gas has gone down a little bit. And yeah, he's bringing in trillions of dollars of industry, and that's all well and fine. But like, people want accountability. What is the point of you paying taxes if pedophiles are getting away with being pedophiles at the highest levels of power? What do you think?
I agree. I think it's the most enigmatic thing for the country is when you see Trump and Elon Musk, you know, both taking a shovel and trying to go home because they're mad. And it's like you have two people that are used to getting everything they want all the time, trying to work together. I'm sorry. It's like putting Megamind and like Pinky and the Brain together in the same room and say, hey, work together. They're not engineered like that. They're not engineered to cooperate. And they're used to people just saying, yes, you're right. I'm going to do what you say. That's the best example. The example you talk about with the gas and the food and, you know, all of that is true. But what happens is that people are so wrapped up in what this person's doing and what they're saying and all of this stuff that you're so mad about the process and what's going on that you're not even focusing on your life. You're focusing on the future. And again, a lot of people are just scared.
The studies show, and you know, I don't know if I would take studies to the bank because people lie. You know, we were lied to about COVID, about the vaccines. And, you know, one day they're saying, oh, if you get vaccinated, you can't get it and you can't spread it to anybody else. And by golly, did they walk that statement back. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm sure this video is going to get flagged because I just said that. But like, I don't give a shit. People lie.
Yep.
We're all humans.
Yep.
Many of us try to get it in our head and we go, oh, but they're better than us. Like they're almost like they have like superhuman powers. And it's like, no, they don't. They're just humans. People lie. People are wrong. You know, people, whatever. But like, I say all this to say, dude, I use Grok all the time. AI is coming for everybody's jobs. It's coming for all of them. Like, we're going to talk about so many positive things. I don't want to turn people off, but like, it's been a while since I've been on camera. Maybe this is a reason for me to get back on camera. Like, it's coming. It's coming. Elon just put out the first self-driving car, made a delivery. It went off without a hitch. You know, and again, you can hate Elon. Like, and I wish that would be the one, like, if I could just try to convince Americans, I don't care where you fall politically, just convince Americans, like, guys, we have to set aside our differences and bind together, because what are all of us? We are Americans, and we have got to save this country. Because if we don't, we are all doomed. My generation is never going to see Social Security. We're $37 trillion in debt. And you know what I heard from a lot of Democrats last election cycle? Oh, that debt stuff. What does that even mean, anyways? Excuse me? It's very real. They're bonds that we sold to China and to other countries. What if China comes knocking on our door tomorrow and wants to get paid back? What are we going to do? You know, and I, you know, again, go back to what you said. It didn't matter who won the election. That's still the debt's just going up, right? So I'm very concerned. I had a close friend call me the other week because last year I was like, my anxiety was just, it still is. It's even worse. But it's like, I would say stuff and I would go, man, I'm just really afraid there's going to be like a civil war. There's going to be like massive unrest, no matter who wins the election, you know, blah, blah, blah. You would go, you're fucking crazy. Like you're a crazy person. And he called me just a couple of days, not even a couple of weeks ago, just a couple of days ago. And he goes, I understand what you were saying now. He goes, no, do I think we're going to draw sides and have the Democrats versus the Republicans or the working class versus the rich? He's like, I don't know about that. But he goes, I can see what you're saying.
Yep. 100%. And there is no safe, it seems like. There's nobody. Everybody's got dirt on them. Everybody's got like modern issues, and that's the problem.
Right.
It's almost like you have a set of people who are doing wrong and another set of people who are doing wrong. Just the wrongs are different in different ways. You know, it's almost like the anti-heroes versus the villains. And you're not.
And none of them are going, hi, it's me. I'm the
Yeah.
problem. It's me. We'll get to that later. But yeah.
Nope. What was I going to say?
Dude, that's a great way to put it.
Because nobody, I don't want to say nobody cares. I don't think people are invested enough in being diplomatic anymore. I think they're very invested in their side being right.
And that I think that it has to do, and like everybody wants to take it back to Trump. Some people take it back to Obama. I don't care when it started and who started it, but we stopped talking to each other in this country. And it's like, hey, we can disagree politically, but we can still be friends. But most people don't see it that way.
They don't. I do, you know, we can use this to segue just a little bit into the conversation around Superman.
Okay.
And we're going to try to stay, I'm going to try to stay away from spoilers until we go spoilers, you know.
Jazz hands.
Spirit fingers. I feel like Superman wanted to almost make a pseudo-political statement.
Oh, it definitely did. I mean, that one guy was basically Benjamin Netanyahu.
Which one? Tell me which one.
The guy with the long hair that was trying to invade the other country.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That's literally Benjamin Netanyahu.
Okay.
And the little kid putting the flag in the ground, that's a Palestinian. Basically.
Okay.
Basically. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense because James Gunn has said it's like an immigrant story, which
it is. But I didn't really get that.
Me either. Let's talk about the gun of it all.
All right, let's talk.
All right, let's talk about the gun of it all.
Go for it.
The Critical Drinker was saying something I thought was really interesting. He was saying that Gunn is almost becoming a victim of James Gunn.
Okay.
And that his movies are so much like it's so him, and he has to do it like his style and his way. Like, and the humor, I'm glad the humor wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. But I do feel like there was still a lot of humor in it and a lot of trying to make jokes and a lot of not letting the emotion kind of sit. Everything was kind of, we're going to go into this feeling. No, we're going to make a joke and forget about it. And this is always, anytime we've talked about like even Guardians, this is I think the only movie he's made and he didn't direct it was Brightburn that I can think of off the top of my head, where it wasn't seeped with humor, but I think it's because his brother wrote it.
Well, that was a dark movie.
Yes. Yes.
Now I will say, so here's my quick thoughts on Superman, and I got a lot of them, but look, I gave the movie 3 out of 5 stars instead of 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah. The only reason I gave it an extra star is because I want to compliment James Gunn for a few minutes. He got out of his own way enough to not have the whole thing be a pop music soundtrack like he usually does, that he kind of took from like Quentin Tarantino or Marty, right? I would say like those guys are like, and the Coen brothers to an extent, those guys are like the kings of using pop music in their there was only like 2 or 3 songs. So I liked that. He got out of his own way enough, right? But everything you're saying, I 100% agree with. The reason I gave the movie 3 stars also is I thought everybody was perfectly cast.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were all incredible.
Cornsweat was really, really good as Superman, and Rachel Brosnahan was really good as Lois.
And all of them, like all of them, they were great.
Yes.
And then there's a couple of scenes where it's not like jokey or him fighting Godzilla or him whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's just him and Lois.
Yes.
Clark and Lois.
Yeah.
And they would have the scene, and the scene would play out, and I would go, "Ooh, I really I like this. You're grabbing me, right?" Yeah. And then it would cut, and he's like saving a squirrel, fighting a kaiju.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I mean, all right, Mr. Terrific was my favorite character in the whole movie. I don't know anything about him, you know, and I thought Nathan Fillion was, great, and so was what the fuck's her name? She played Dora. She's in The Last of Us. I'm blanking on her name. She was great. It's Hawk Girl, and the Millie. We're all right. Let's do it now. Spoilers for Superman. The Millie Alcock cameo at the end was cool. That was dope. But like, buddy, I walked out of this movie. Like, I took my 10-year-old nephew. 20 minutes in, Jay's like, "I'm bored." That told me everything I needed to know, because I'm a 34-year-old man. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to go see Superman. I'm going to go see Superman. But what the fuck do they make these movies for?
Yeah.
They make them for kids your kid's age.
Yeah.
And my nephew's age.
Yeah.
And he was bored 20 minutes into the movie.
Because I'm going to segue, then I'm going to come back because there's an important segue. I saw Jurassic Park, J12 or 58 or 95. And people were like, "Oh, this Jurassic Park movie." And what I ended up saying was, there was no point to it. There was no point to it. There was no point to the story. There was no point to making, you just wanted to say, okay, let's go and get another. It'll make $500, $600 million. They always do. People like dinosaurs. People like the Jurassic franchise. And they stay similar enough where, it doesn't have to be an amazing story. The dinosaurs eat people, and the people try to get away. Sorry, spoilers for Jurassic Park.
That's literally the plot of every single one of them.
Yep.
And I'm a big Lost World stan. Like, I defend that movie to the core.
Yeah.
Partially due to I was in 2nd grade when it came out, and just ate that shit up on videotape and whatever. But I rewatched the first 3 a couple years ago when the one with all of them came out. So 3 summers ago, and that one's good. Yeah, it's good. And then dude, Jurassic World, the first one's not bad.
No.
But
you're trying to recreate a feeling, and so I say that because I know this was supposed to be setting the ground for the new DCU, and I do think that it was great, setting a great ground setter. I like the characters. Mr. Terrific is dope. Eli, I'm gonna butcher his Eddie Gujujiruz. I don't know how to say his last name, and I'm not being funny. He's a great actor. All the movies I've seen him in, from Blacklist to all these different TV shows and movies. He's always good. A lot happened, but I feel like instead of going leaps and bounds, we kind of went 10, 15 feet. Like, I
So
don't.
yeah, our friend Ryan White says this periodically. He said this to me multiple times on the phone. And I told him this a while ago. I said, I'm gonna start using your quote because I think it applies to certain things. And like
Yeah.
I'm totally stealing it,
Yeah.
plagiarizing it. And he'll tell periodically there'll be a movie that comes out and he's got that pass so he can go as many times a month as he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not into like 35 other things like I am.
Yeah.
So he'll go see like 2 movies a weekend sometimes. And there'll be one that like I'm on the fence about.
Yeah.
So I'll ask him, I'll go, hey, what's this worth? And he'll say this periodically. He'll go, well, I just don't know who this movie was for.
Yeah.
And then he'll like go further into it depending upon the movie. Right.
Yeah.
So I say this about Superman. Who was this movie for? Was it for adults? Was it for kids? Because like you and I would agree, like Joker and Joker 2, those movies aren't for children. They're made for adults that can understand deep concepts and, things like that,
Yep.
right? And then like on the flip side of the coin, the new Jurassic World movie, which I haven't seen, but Helen and Jay saw it and they said it stunk, right? That movie's made to just go shove popcorn down your throat, turn your brain off.
Yep.
Okay. So it's made for people that want to escape.
Yep.
Okay. Who do you think Superman was made for?
It was for people that were disappointed with the DCEU and they want to lure them back into the DCU because if Feige is the master manipulator of universes and worlds and, franchises, James Gunn has that potential because, one, he was with Feige for a long time. And two, he knows enough about the comics from what I've seen. Like, he knows the comics and he knows the comic book lore. So him running it makes sense. Just like Feige running Marvel makes sense. I think it's for people. They want to bring people back. And I think that's what they're really trying to do. They're really trying to bring people back. They're really trying to grab a hold to, we thought we lost you, but hey, hold on. This is a solid DCU movie.
And I agree with that. It was fine. It was a good, okay, now I get the gist of this universe. Okay, cool. I'm interested in Supergirl. Probably won't see it in the theater, but here's my kind of pushback on that. Like, that's a statement that they could have made 5 years ago. Because I just think so much shit's gone down in the last 5 years. So many less people care.
Yep.
And what are you really like? I'm not you personally, but like just like the general, like if I'm the studio, what are you talking about? Like those 50,000 loud ass motherfuckers that are on the internet that couldn't write a fucking movie if they had a gun to their head.
Yep.
Like that's who you're trying to lure back? Are these people that are just going to shit on things because they're unhappy people to begin with? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, you're looking like think of like the critics. We'll say like the big, we'll say Stuckman, we'll say Campia, we'll say Johns, and we'll say the critical drinker because those are the 4 kind of people that I typically watch their reviews.
Okay.
Oh, and Double Toasted, I watch their reviews too. So those 5 people.
I listen to your reviews.
I like critical drink is always going to be hard on people. I don't think they've liked the movie that's come out, a comic book movie. I don't think he's liked the movie that's come out at all in the last few years. And I understand it, but I also think he's very hard. I think like Campia and Harloff tend to be more diplomatic, but they also tend to be easier on these people because they've worked with a lot of them or know them and all that stuff. So I think that's that. So, now you're talking about different people. I think Double Toasted, they're then I don't feel like they're biased. And Jeffrey Johns, I don't feel like he's biased. I don't. Jeremy Johns, I don't feel like he's biased. I feel like they try to be honest, but I do think that you get into your mindsets about these movies, like you said. So you're talking about the 500 people that couldn't do it. You also have the critics that just are being critical because there's nothing Marvel or Disney can do that's going to bring them back. There's nothing that DC can do that's going to bring them back. So then what happens? Like, it's you're perpetually spinning your wheels to what end? You know, it's hard to come up with. I think comic book movies are getting long in the tooth because they're
With
all
exception.
starting.
With it,
Yeah,
like the Batman
yeah.
Part 2, that movie's going to make $1 billion, and
Yep.
you and I are so excited about it. Doesn't come out for 2 years. We'll
Yep.
go opening weekend, and we're going to eat that shit up. We're going to love
Yep.
it. Spider-Man 4, he's teaming up with Hulk and Punisher.
Yep.
I'll be there opening day.
Yep.
John Bernthal, Mark Ruffalo, Tom
Yep.
Holland, Zendaya's back all day.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Avengers movies we're going to show for, but like outside of that, I don't know, dude. I think I'm kind of out. I just don't give a fuck anymore.
I want to see Black Panther 3 because
well, of course, but like, to me, that's cinema. You know what I mean? Like,
because everybody's gonna bring their A game. Even if Denzel gets 30 minutes of screen time, his part's gonna be well written. If it's not well written, Coogler is gonna give him the carte blanche to say, okay, what are you feeling about this? I would say
he's one of the greatest working directors right now, Ryan Coogler. It's not even like Sinners is my favorite movie of the year. Like, it's not even close. Yep. I saw Eddington the other night. We can talk about it some other time, but like, it's up there.
Yeah.
But Coogler.
Yeah.
It's different. Nothing against James Gunn, but James Gunn didn't make Fruitville Station.
Nope.
He didn't make Creed. He does James Gunn, and he does James Gunn very well, but like, Tarantino, the dude's made 9 or 10 movies, however you want to cut it up and slice it. And he makes one every like 5 years. And like every 5 years, people are like, okay, I'm ready for a new Quentin Tarantino movie. Mm-hmm. But it's like, even Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Jackie Brown are all crime movies.
Yeah.
And then he's like, let's shift. Does Kill Bill 1 and 2, which are samurai kung fu movies. You know what I mean? Like, even he's able to change it up.
And even like, and I'm not this huge Nolan stan. Nolan is Nolan, right? He's fine. He's whatever.
Oh, the Odyssey. Oh, I can't
wait. It looks pretty good, I must say.
Injected into here.
Nolan, every movie is its own kind of existing thing. That's what I like. That's what that's what I like about Nolan. It's different. And like I said with James Gunn, except for when you go like back to the horror, but when you look at it now, I do think he's being mindful of that now that he's in charge and trying to diversify, which is good. I don't think that he's necessarily diversifying his stuff, and I understand why he directed Superman. But I think the Critical Drinker said something to the fact that maybe he didn't need to direct this.
I think he wanted to direct it to kind of set the tone.
Yes.
But now he's just going to Feige. I'm sure he'll direct the Superman sequels, if there are any, unless they're just team up movies, which actually makes a lot more sense than to have like a sequel to Superman.
Yeah.
It's different than like what Matt Reeves is doing. It's a totally different thing. But I think he's just going to Feige because that's what makes the most sense.
He needs to. And again, I think he's a writer and a director at heart, right? He's running the studio because he has the expertise. It'd be like if somebody said, hey, Rob, I have a job for you running
let's go. I got 8 movies ready to go, all different genres.
Right, exactly. It's something that if it's something that you love, you're not just going to summarily dismiss, right? He's a writer-director at heart, and I think that this is in his wheelhouse. But Campia was saying the other day, he doesn't think Feige. How much longer do you think Feige's going to stay? He's been doing this, what, 20 years?
So I have a theory. So we've started phase 6, I believe.
Yes.
And phase 6 ends with Secret Wars.
Yep.
So in terms of theatrical films, we have Spider-Man 4, Doomsday, one that they haven't announced what it is. So it's probably either X-Men or Thunderbolts 2. Or possibly Thor 5. I if that's still happening. I don't know. I think after Secret Wars, I think he dials it back. But I could see him doing 5 more years. You know, get the new thing set up with the X-Men and everything.
Yeah.
And then kind of piecing out. Maybe just being more of like, oh man, it's been a while since I've used a Rocky reference. You know, kind of be like Mickey.
Yeah.
In Rocky, or like how Rocky was in the Creed films. Like, you're there to help.
Yeah.
Like, you're not in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He can move into like that. I know Zaslow's the studio head, the head of DC.
Well, no, Zaslav is who runs Warner Brothers. James Gunn.
Oh, I meant Warner Brothers. That's what I meant.
DC. Yeah.
I meant Warner Brothers. He's above Gunn and Safran. Like, I could see, and again, I don't know what he's done outside of comic book movies because he's been doing comic book movies for so long. I'm talking about Feige.
Oh, yeah.
He could easily.
Comic book movies when I was growing up, and I didn't even know who he was. He was
right.
Producing things. And
yeah, when he talks about like where I was like, oh, he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And obviously the movies are good movies, and they just happen to be comic book characters. What I think the issue is, and what I think we're going to see, is that they're leaning too much into the comic book part now.
Yeah.
I see that trend starting, and that's what I felt about. That's why I didn't like the Suicide Squad.
That's why like you got Lois Lane flying a fucking spaceship.
Yep. Like she figures it out in 3 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, like okay, thank you for saying that. Because like until you just said it, I was like, they didn't even set that up.
Nope.
Like she just knew how to fly. Like, excuse me, time out. And I understand we're talking about men that fly and aliens. I understand. But like, even in Independence Day, which I just rewatched on the 4th of July, thank you very much. Even in Independence Day, like when they went to go fight the aliens at the end,
yeah,
you had to know how to fly a fucking plane.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like she, dude. That's how easy this thing is to fly. You or I can just get into it and
just because Mr. Terrific said it's intuitive, but he's a smart one. So you're telling me somebody she's
not Mr. Terrific. She's Lois Lane.
No, I will give them credit for. Aside from that, I thought they were going to lean into, and I heard somebody say, I don't remember who, they were saying that they thought Lois was going to be girl bossy. She wasn't girl boss. I thought she was a good reporter, but I also thought she was a good partner too.
I agree. I keep going back to this. They were written very well. Lois and Clark.
Yeah.
I don't mind like girl boss stuff. Like when I think of a girl boss, I automatically go to like Liz Lemon, Tina Fey's character in 30 Rock. Yeah, I think Tina Fey even wrote a book called Girl Boss. So like my mind just goes there, and like that's great. It's one of the greatest fucking comedies of all time.
Yeah,
but like, I get what you're saying, where she's like, little
like challenging him and all that stuff, but that's what you need. Like for me, that's what Patty does. She challenges, like, oh, but I don't understand why you're doing that, and that's what a good partner.
Well, that's what a good partner does.
That's what a good partner does.
Yeah, for sure.
And they didn't take it and make it this, I'm more important than Superman in a Superman movie, which has happened with other Supermans, and it has happened before because I think that they worked well together. And, you had mentioned this when we were talking. Mr. Terrific was dope. He was well written. He was interesting. And then he got the pocket to be a superhero, not just a nerd. And I like that, especially because he got a lot of screen time, so I'm wondering they're going to probably do more stuff with him, which makes sense.
And again, no shade to the character or the actor, but I don't need a Mr. Terrific movie.
Yeah,
but like you've already hit the level that like Mark Ruffalo as Hulk in the
Yeah.
MCU is,
Yeah.
where it's like it's a pleasure to see your face every couple of movies. 20, 30 minutes, you'll get like fifth billing or fourth billing, depending upon the film. Maybe you'll get second billing on a film. Like, keep it at that level. I don't need a whole Mr. Terrific movie, though. Like, what do you think about that?
I don't disagree. I think they're going into everybody's taking the Marvel, like what the model for that Marvel did. But Marvel also had 75 Iron Man movies, 35 Thor. Like they built up to that. And I know a lot of times they're trying to start like kind of in the middle, like, oh, they're already established, which I get.
Because we don't need baby Clark Kent. We don't need the pearls in the alley.
Yeah.
You know, we don't need it.
We don't need it. But I think there is something to be said to see why you're supposed to root for them, and I think that's what's missing from a lot of the movies now. Why am I rooting
specifically with Superman? Wait. So why are we rooting for this guy?
Yeah. Why are we rooting for Sam Wilson? You know, why are we rooting for the Thunderbolts? Because I thought the Thunderbolts was 83% a great movie.
Yeah, I liked it a lot because I liked the mental health aspect that they got into. I thought that was done very well, and it was different. It was the same reason. I'll mention this real quickly because you haven't seen it yet, and I don't want to spoil anything. I saw Fantastic Four yesterday. I gave that 4 out of 5 stars. And I saw a lot of people I know that didn't give it nearly as high of a review.
Yeah.
And they just said it was kind of like, what was the point of this? But to me, and you'll figure it out if you see the movie, it had a fresh storyline. Like I've never seen that story told before. Same with Thunderbolts. I'd never seen that story told before. So that kept me engaged, you know. I can't wait to see what happens next. But I think in retrospect, if the sequel's better than this one, I don't think people are going to go back to this one as much. That's just my take on it. But
of the Fantastic Four,
yes.
We
go back to Superman though.
I think Fantastic Four is just going to be setting the stage.
It is
for
Dr. Doom.
Doom, and
you know, and it does. It's spoiler alert.
But that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah,
that's what it's supposed to do 100%. And isn't it crazy that the guy who played Doom died?
The OG? Yeah, I know.
That's wild. It's crazy how like this stuff happens like serendipitously. Like,
dude, it's been a long summer. Like I'm sure you saw in the intro video, dude. We lost Sly Stone. For you kids out there, I'm sure you've heard everyday people in a grocery store. Sly Stone is the godfather of funk.
Like Sylvester Stallone?
No, Sly Stone. Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah.
Like they're incredible. And then we lost Brian Wilson like 3 days, and we just lost Ozzy. Dude, it's been a fucking summer. Sorry.
A lot of people passed away. And you know what? And I think that makes you reflect on your mortality. Yeah. Because when you start, you're like all the people that were Hulk Hogan, and I know he's divisive and all that stuff.
I know he's divisive, but like you can't take away how popular Hulkamania was in the 80s.
Oh my God. That's when I used to watch wrestling. I used to love wrestling. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. This is awesome. You know, now you got like Cena's in his farewell tour, and The Rock's, and I think he's done. And it's just like the people that Denzel's saying he's going to hang it up soon. LeBron's going to retire soon. KD, Steph Curry, like all of these people.
Springsteen's going to be 76 this year.
You have
those are my people, man.
They got to lay it down. And that's when it's hard, because some of these bands tour until they're like 1 foot in the grave.
Well, I mean, dude, I saw John Mellencamp, Bob Dylan, and Willie Nelson last year. Bob Dylan was 83 when I saw him, and Willie was 91. And I learned so much from that concert. In my mind, my whole life, Bob Dylan is like, he's the guy. Like, I'm sorry, he's the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was the only one that was like standing the whole time and singing all the words to his songs while everybody else was just like out of it because he doesn't sound great, you know, and you know, it's
Nope.
kind of sad, you know,
Mhm.
like, you know, anyways. No, dude, your own mortality, like, dude, I'm so glad you brought that up. I've been thinking about that a lot this week. I'm like, dude, we lost Sly Stone, we lost
Yep.
Brian Wilson, we lost
Yep.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep.
And for me, I always just like I don't know any of these people personally. I never did. I never met any of them. But like they've been a part of my life. Like, dude, I was in kindergarten when I got the Beach Boys greatest hits. I even logged into my Facebook just to put a post out about it. Like I was in 5th grade when the Osbournes came out. Like these people, you just think they're gonna be around for forever. Like they're just always, you know, like somebody put this on Twitter and I thought it was the best way to, they're like, it's like all the metal kids just lost their dad. And I'm like, yeah, like it kind of is, you know, and for me, it's like you lost that kind of crazy neighbor that never conformed to society that lives down your street and like runs around screaming his wife's name when he can't find the remote. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's wild.
Yeah. 100%. Let's slide into
any more thoughts on Superman though? I apologize.
No. You brought it up. I thought everybody was great casting. I was surprised because I don't know Corn Sweat like that, and I don't know Rachel Brosnahan.
Neither do I. Never watched Mrs. Maisel. Mrs. Maisel. Never watched it.
Yeah, really good actors. Lex Holt was great, but as you see in my name,
yes,
Joker's still better than Lex.
Okay, again, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
Jay turned to me during the movie because he kind of looked confused, and I said, "Do you know who Lex Luthor is?" And he shook his head no. And to be fair, we didn't show him the Christopher Reeve Superman movies just because I don't think he would be into them. You know, they were kind of corny when I was watching them. But like, I turned to him and I said, Lex Luthor is the Joker to Superman as like the Joker is to Batman. And he immediately got it. Like immediately.
Yeah.
Did that, like, do your kids understand Lex Luthor?
We'll see. I think the older ones might.
Okay.
But I think that they've kind of, and this is my bias, obviously, they're more into like the Batman, Joker, like that side than necessarily Superman, because I don't think there's been a lot of Superman movies, honestly, that have been super impactful. Now, I thought Man of Steel was dope. I like Henry Cavill as Superman. And I'm not saying that the movies are bad. I'm just saying that I don't feel like they impacted for me like the movies with Joker in it.
I just think it's so much easier for people to connect to Batman.
Yeah.
Because like everybody's been down. I mean, he's a human. He doesn't have superpowers. Like, I don't, you know, and like, to be fair, and this is no slight on Clark Kent or Superman or anything, but like, they just got lucky.
Yeah.
Like from Batman 89 through the Clooney one, those made a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And then Nolan, who was relatively unknown unless you were into indie cinema, watching Memento.
Yeah.
He was able to just do something that, I mean, and I love Matt Reeves' vision.
Yeah.
They just haven't been able to do that with Superman. And I've heard the argument like, well, it's because he's too good and he doesn't ever do anything wrong and he doesn't like make mistakes. And like, no, I don't know, man. Like, you're telling me you can't get a writer to write like a fucked up Superman?
Yeah. And that, like, okay, spoilers for Superman. We're going to go into spoiler territory. So you can pause or whatever if you need to. Even Ultraman or Bizarro Superman, whatever they want, he was boring. He had no person, and I understand that he's a clone and all. He had no personality. I didn't care if he won. I didn't care if he lost. In the whole Lex, like, oh, you're gonna, oh, L5, D2, all of this stuff. Some people love it. I personally was like, I think that's stupid because.
Well, they're doing they're video game control.
Yeah, there's no way
for the Minecraft kids,
because you're not saying, like, you're saying that you've watched them, but you're not anticipating what Superman's doing. You're just telling him what to do. And if they were trying to anticipate what Superman was doing, they didn't lay that out very clearly for me. They might have said that. I missed that. So that's why I didn't like that part, because it's just like, okay, well, you're telling him how to fight. Couldn't you just tell him how to, like, just program him with all the moves? And if he's this suit, when he was saying that they were saying that he was dumb. So again, his only purpose was to fight Superman, be as strong as him, just to lose to him. And if he does become Bizarro Superman, which would be cool, he at least has to be interesting. And that's... Holt was awesome. I think he was really interesting. He was a good character. Some of the stuff was super convenient. Like being, oh, you can make a whole universe now? That's what you can do? Okay, Lex. I understand he's smart and all that stuff. Yeah. But you can make a whole universe, which is convenient because now you can hold people and you can.
I just think that, I'm sorry, like, I'm just gonna say it, and like I don't wish this to be.
Yep.
I think 5 years from now, when the Batman Part 3 comes out and it winds up being equally as good as the Nolan trilogy.
Yep.
The DCEU, or what is it called? The DCU? Is that what James Gunn's verse is?
The DCU. Yep.
It'll already be over. I just think it's over. And like, I don't know if people understand this, and I brought this up before, like, because it happened with Winnie the Pooh a few years ago. The copyright date the copyright date expires in the 2030s for both Superman and Batman. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know what all the details are with legalities and all that shit, but like, I just think it's over. And like with AI now, dude, I've seen some of the AI videos they've been making, and some of them look horrible because nobody, like, people don't know what they're doing. But like some of them, the people that know what they're doing, it's like, that's the fucking future.
Well, they're gonna take all these stories and they're probably gonna make them, not live action. They're gonna make them animated because you can do more with the animated. You can make it, and they're writing better and better stories. And like you said, to your credit. And how long have I been saying that these movies are just not from top to bottom? They're not written 100%. It's like somebody's getting to like 85. They're like, oh, this is good enough. And I don't think James Gunn did that. I think he really tried to write a really good movie. I think he really, like,
yeah.
I think it was a good movie.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I think it was a good movie for people with superpowers. I just don't, like, it could have been Superman. It could have been Batman. It could have been anybody. I feel like it could have been anybody that was in the titular role. And I don't know that they made Superman. Like, I felt Man of Steel, and it was like, oh, it was about Superman. And I felt like this was about Superman and Lois and the Justice Gang and
the Justice Gang. I think, honestly, like, I just had this thought, like, it might have been a more interesting movie to kick off the DCU with just Hawkgirl, the Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
And then Superman's off doing something, and they talk to Lois Lane periodically because they're friendly with her, because like they've been dating a while and she's friendly with the gang.
Yeah.
They could have even thrown in like 2 more oddball characters and had 5. Yeah. I think that would have been like, because I wouldn't have known it. It would have been like, oh, who are these people? I don't know who Hawkgirl is. But it's like with Superman, and I know they kind of wanted to make him a little underpowered in this movie, but it's just like, I just don't fucking care. Like, I mean, we used to do, when this channel was thriving before politics divided all of us and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I don't regret a single thing I ever said. We used to talk about superhero fatigue all the time.
Yep.
Brother, we're way past fatigue.
Oh.
Like, we're hinging on divorce from like, you know, and like the custody battle is going to be like, all right, well, we get these Matt Reeves movies every like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's and like we get a new Spider-Man movie and that's cool.
Yeah.
But like otherwise, I just don't fucking care.
And I think the people that care about the movies are the ones that are making the good movies. So like they dropped the ball. I don't think I'm gonna walk back. They dropped the ball. I think he did fine with Superman. I don't think Superman's his wheelhouse. And I think he was trying to prove to himself that he could do like kind of like a more serious, but even that still fell into a lot of jokey stuff. They dropped the ball with Joker 2. I know you liked it. They dropped the ball with Joker 2. They dropped the ball with Black Captain America. They dropped the ball with all of these movies because they didn't care. You're trying to patchwork these movies. It's not how it's going to work. You need to care about it and write a good movie. All the movies from the first, first 3 phases, they were good movies. I mean, except for maybe like a handful of them. And the Guardians I didn't really care for, but whatever. They were good movies. You could take, if you took the superhero stuff out, you could say like, oh, they're good movies. You know, it really got like really crazy when Thanos came. Honestly, you built up that and built all that. You're trying to get the benefits of the Justice League with the Justice Gang, but you're not making it as interesting. Like, look at Ezra Miller now. He's running around. He's wearing long hair. He's wearing dresses, and he's wearing all these. I don't know if you've seen any pictures of him, and it's just like them. Obviously, he's going through changes and stuff like that. I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying it's bad. He's going through changes. Then you have Momoa, who's a character. You had Batfleck, awesome. You had
Momoa's already playing a new character in Supergirl.
Yeah. So
some motorcycle guy rides a motorcycle or something. I think.
Punisher.
It's
Lobo.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
He's playing Lobo.
Is he like the Punisher?
Nah, that I know of. No, I think he's pretty strong. He's probably more like an anti-hero. I think he has powers. I don't know the Lobo like that. I don't know the comic book stuff. Like, because they're going into characters I don't really know that well.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. I was always, again, I like Batman.
Yep.
Favorite comic book character. It's not even close.
Yep.
Okay. I've always been a Marvel guy though. Like I like all the Marvel people and whatever. So it's all new to me, which I kind of like because I think that was the one smile on my face walking out of Superman was Mr. Terrific. I was like, I want to know more about him. He was really cool, you know?
Mm-hmm. He was interesting.
Yeah.
He was interesting. I think Nathan Fillion, I know him from roles.
Right. Same.
Excuse me. He's got an interesting personality, I think. Hawkgirl, I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know her. Mr. Terrific, I know him. He's done a lot of black movies. And I'm not saying that in any way other than that's where I know him from. Like the movies that I've seen he's in. I did remember the first time I saw him was in Blacklist. So, yeah, you have these interesting characters-ish. But I feel like the Justice League, they were all like, they were a bunch of oddballs and loose screws put together. But yeah.
So speaking of anti-heroes.
Yes.
Can we transition?
To Taylor Swift? Sure.
It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me.
Yes.
That's off of Midnights, which is not really a part of this conversation because that album came out in 2022 after she moved to Republic Records, which is a different part of Universal Music Group. This is where we're going to get into another side of Rob's brain that has just the same abyss of knowledge and whatnot. So let me ask you. So I want to start by this. Like, what do you know about this subject before we get into it?
Swiftie, I know that she was remaking all of her songs into the Taylor versions, which is actually super smart. Super smart.
And they sound like They fucking sound great. Like the snare drum.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
No, you're good. I know she was remaking the Taylor versions, and this is what I heard a few years ago, that she was trying to do this because I think originally she couldn't get her masters, so she was trying to create her own set of catalog that she owned for her music, which again is super smart. Like there was a rapper 15 years ago, his name was Razzcast. He got arrested because he tried to steal his masters, put them under his jacket, and run out with them. That's how old it was, like literal physical. So, but smart. You want to get your own copies, and owning your own masters. Jay-Z owns all his masters, but Reasonable Doubt, which is the first one he made, and that's probably his most famous, I guess, album. And
they would have the songs I would know on it.
You would know a lot of Jay-Z songs. Stop it.
Well, I know.
No, I know. And apparently, I forgot. I think Cameron found a way to buy them because Dame Dash didn't want to sell them all, a bunch of political stuff, yada yada. But I say all that to say that that's smart if she was able to get her masters back, from what you were telling me.
So I learned this because of the late great Tom Petty.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Bogdanovich made a 4-hour-long documentary about the history of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. 20 years ago it came out.
Yeah.
And I saw it as soon as it came out. Mm-hmm. And long story short, he was going to make his third album. And he found out that he didn't own his masters. And he didn't know what that meant. Because back in the day, like you can go to college now and study music law. Like it's been around for a long time. You can study publishing and all that kind of stuff. And there's lawyers that make a lot of money dealing with that.
Yeah.
Intellectual property. Okay. So I learned this from Tom Petty 20 years ago. And when I got into the music business, I told myself, I said, it's going to be really hard if anybody does offer you money, but you're not going to take it. Not ever. Because you made the art. It's your art. Now, somebody else can distribute it and they can get a piece of the pie distributing it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Fine with me. But nobody can own. I don't think companies or corporations should be able to own somebody's art outright. And some other musical heroes of mine, Jason Isbell, he's got his own company, he's got his own publishing, right? So, and then like my boy Sturgill Simpson uses companies to distribute his music, but he owns it. So with Taylor, her first album came out when she was 16. And I was telling you this before the show because I know you were kind of like throwing off like this is going to be a topic we're going to talk about. And, I'm not the only one, but we're the same age. So to me, she's just always been around. She's like, she may as well have gone to my high school.
Yeah.
Like every 4 months there was a new single and everybody knew it. And this just been life. And sometimes I don't listen to her for a while. And then I go back and I listen to her. Like recently I've been digging into Lover and Midnights, which I listened to when they came out, but I wasn't like obsessed with them like 1989 or Folklore. That's a different conversation. But I say all this to say, when all this shit went down 5-6 years ago with her coming out and saying like, this is bullshit. I will gladly pay for them. Whatever your ticket price is. I want my masters. I want my art. I immediately was like, you got my, not that it matters for me personally, for me, like, sure, but like, you got my support. I will not play those albums. I will not give them streams on Spotify. So when she did Fearless and Red and Speak Now in 1989, those are my fucking albums. Okay. Well, first of all, they sound better. I mean, like, but at the same time, like, it is really hard to not go back and listen to the original 1989 because that's why that became my favorite album. I listened to it 1,000 times. That CD was in my truck for 18 months after it came out. Like that, it was in rotation. It was that. It was Need to Breathe, Rivers in the Wasteland, Casey Musgraves' first 2 albums, Jason Isbell's Southeastern and Something More Than Free, Sturgill Simpson's first couple, like constantly in rotation. And long story short, almost 2 months ago, I think it was on a Friday night, I go on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and she had this post, and it was her sitting there with all of her albums, and it was the most beautiful thing. We opened the show talking about really dark, sad stuff, and I saw this post and was just like, good for you. Like, you did it. Like, you won. You won. And it cost her like $350 million, but she don't give a fuck. The Eras Tour paid for that, you know? And she had like this whole statement that she put out, and I read it. And like, I was almost in tears just because I was so happy for her. Because it's like, can you imagine? Like, I say this all the time. Donald Trump is whether you love him or you hate him or you fall somewhere in the middle in the spectrum. He's the most famous person in the world. He just is. But she's the second most famous person in the world. She's the most famous woman in the world. And I don't even think it's close. Like, you can make your argument for Beyonce, and that's fine. But like, I just don't think anybody's close. And it's like, to be that successful, but you don't get to own your music. You know? So anyway, so I read the post and I'm just like ecstatic. And that night I went back and I listened to the original Red all the way through, and I listened to 1989 all the way through, and just blasted it and was just like, she's free, you know? But like, Akili, like, could you imagine if, you know, the only way you could publish your poetry books or your books in general is somebody else owns all of that material, and like, if you want to use it, you have to get their permission, and like, you make less money off of it? Could you imagine if they did that to you, Akili?
I think so. This is one of the reasons why, you know, and I tried a couple of times to get traditionally published.
Yeah.
And I ended up going self-publishing for that because I didn't like people telling me what to write and how to write it. And I tried working with, like, years ago, I worked with an independent publisher, like, and she would give advice and help. And I just didn't, I was just like, ugh, I can't. And there was something where she was like, well, I use a little bit of slang. She was like, oh, well, all your readers are going to be black, and all your readers going to be black. She's asking because of the slang.
Like I wouldn't understand that if I read what you were writing. Like,
and that was where I'm just like, I know you're doing your job and trying to help, but to me, it wasn't putting me in a place where I was like, then I don't want editors coming in, because again, talking about poetry, you can only edit poetry down so much till it loses your voice. If I gave you 20 of my poems, I said, hey, Rob, edit them down, and you just do whatever you want. You just edit and change words, and then at what point does it stop being my poem and start being Rob's poem?
Or just nobody's poem. It's just words.
Yep.
I feel you, dude. I feel you.
So that
I'm going through that. Spoiler alert, I'm going through that with my film script right now. It needs a little more pizzazz. And I was thinking last night, and I was like, where can I put like a little bit more of like an action, not like a gun battle or a car chase, but like action, like plot wise.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, and there's this part in Act 1 right before Act 2, and I was like, maybe I could put in a scene there. And then I was thinking about it, and I go, yeah, but then the 3 scenes after that, the reason those scenes work is because the way this played out here. And so I'll figure it out. Like, that's what I'm good at. But to your point, but then where's Rob's voice? You know what I mean?
And that's why when people are like, oh, how much money do you make from it? And I don't write. I write because I like publishing the books. And I don't write because I want to make all of this money, because that's what I have a therapy job for, to make money. Like, I write because, you know, to me, when I started writing, it was a way to have a voice for me, and I could get my thoughts and feelings out. When you don't have that, and the age I'm at, when I was younger, boys didn't talk. Guys didn't really talk. I didn't talk to my friends about feelings and stuff like that. Fuck that. We talked about basketball, and they
So
talked about
you're a Gen Xer.
Wakanda Forever. And now it's evolved where there's so much more of an understanding and acceptance of mental health that I have a lot. It's interesting. I have a lot of guys that I see for individual therapy where it wasn't that 10 years ago.
And that's great. That's the real progress we've made as humans.
Yep.
Is people understand that, like, you know, going back to what Tony Soprano said in the pilot, whatever happened to the strong silent type, like John Wayne characters? And it's like, well, those were just characters in movies.
Yeah.
You know, and I also think like unbelievable amounts of trauma. Like you think of like World War II veterans, and like they couldn't talk to anybody because maybe part of them thought like nobody would believe this shit if I told them anyways. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. And that's, you know, so to actually land the plane on Taylor, I think it's great that she got her master's back. I think it's sad that you have to pretty much be somebody's biznatch at the beginning of your career. And it happened with Pink. When she first signed, she was with LaFace Records. I think she was under Babyface, and that's why when she first came out, she sounded like an R&B singer. Well, because that's how they're gonna kind of market her. And she has the vocal range, and she can sing, and she's talented enough that she could do anything. She's like we were talking about, like Beyonce, Taylor Swift. You could put them under any genre, and we'll talk about that in a second. You could put them under any genre, and they'll be fine.
Right. And I understand Taylor way more than Beyonce, but for me at the end of the day, it's because she is a incredible lyricist. And I mean this when I say it. You know, the Woody Guthrie and Robert Johnson had this thing, and Bob Dylan took that thing, and then Bruce Springsteen took that thing. And then I would say there's been a split. I would say Jason Isbell gets the crown for kind of carrying on the songs of the downtrodden and the working man and the America's problems, social commentary, if you will. But Taylor, Bruce has given her the crown, metaphorically, because there ain't fucking nobody like her. I mean, she is just an anomaly. And it's because she writes great lyrics. So I think she could do any genre, because I sit here as a writer myself and think, you know, I just got done writing a 2-hour movie that's a family dark comedy drama, but my next project is a film noir. So it's like, if you're a writer, you're a writer, you know. But I know you wanted to talk about Beyonce, so go ahead.
It was interesting because I saw this article, and it might have been, fake news, but I saw it in the passing, and it basically said that Beyonce is considering her next album being a rock album. And then we got into the conversation that we don't talk about Taylor Swift changing from country to pop.
I mean, I have for 15 years, but
we've had that conversation. But people don't typically. They typically talk about Taylor as her own kind of entity, and
she is, and I would say Beyonce is as well.
Yes.
You know, and again, I didn't look. I just want to go on the record. Okay, I think Cowboy Carter is a very fine album. But I made this comment before we went live that to me it sounded like everything else that's coming out of Nashville. And because it's Beyonce, I wanted something a little different. You know, but that's my own biases and hangups, you know.
But I think you also want it to be different, but sort of what you expect from Beyonce. Like, there's people that are like, Kanye is one of the few artists that can really just change sound and be okay. Kanye's super talented. Kanye's out of his mind, but Kanye is super talented, and when you're talented, that trumps most things, right? When you have that ability.
I will not speak on Kanye because that guy, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, and
I mean, don't get me wrong, like, tremendously talented.
Exactly.
But he just breathes talent. But I go on Twitter like 5 times a day, so yeah. he's hanging out with Nick Fuentes. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
And then he's doing all this.
Fuentes lives like 45 minutes from here. Like, oh my
He
God.
does all of these crazy things, but you know, I say that because some people are just talented. You know,
Like Michael Jackson. He was a weird guy.
Yeah.
No bones about it. But like, dude, those fucking moves, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You could give LeBron a baseball bat. You could give LeBron a football. You could give LeBron, is he going to be? No. Mike wasn't
Jordan.
great.
I mean, he was able to at least do semi-pro baseball,
He wasn't great, but he's better than a lot of people that spend their whole life playing baseball.
Yeah.
You could
every day, all day long. That's all they do.
Look at Chad and Pharrell. When you talk about production, they produce all over the place. And then now Pharrell sings and he raps. And it's just like, at some point, it's just like, well, how did I get fucked over in all of the talent? The talent, there are things that I'm talented at. There are things that you're talented at. But there's some people where it's just like, okay, you got so much. So my point is that Beyonce, Taylor, people like that, you could copy something and be like, okay, I could listen to 55 country albums and come up with Cowboy Carter. I could listen to 25 albums that are pop and, Taylor could come up with, Tortured Poets Society.
The anthology. The original album's really good. It's a solid one. It's the one that ends with Clairbeau. But the anthology, all 31 tracks, dude, like, to quote my boy Larry David, pretty good. Yes. That being said, dude, all right. Let's put this out there. Okay.
Go ahead.
Rock died. The reason when I got this is my theory.
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep it brief because I could really go into it. I think the reason Taylor's people had her do country music initially is because by 2000, the first album came out in 2006.
Yeah.
By 2005, the quote unquote pop princesses were all damaged goods. Britney and Christina's doing the dirty video. Britney's got the baby between her, the fucking driving with the baby on her, all that shit. Oh God, it was a mess. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everybody in their asshole had a fucking singing contract. I mean, Miley Cyrus was able to make it out of that, but like Hillary Duff had an album. Every freaking child star had, it was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think country made sense. And when I got into the music business, the reason I went to Nashville first and then kind of backed off and was like, fuck those people. I'm doing Americana because I can play rock and roll, acoustic, singer-songwriter music and country.
Mm-hmm.
Was because rock was already dead.
Yep.
Like, my first band was the Beatles, not Willie Nelson. And I love Willie Nelson. I've seen him 5 times, but like the Beatles were my first band. But rock music died. I would say yes, your like last dying breath was like Coldplay and the Killers getting top 40 hits.
Mm-hmm.
But like rock music died when Kurt Cobain died. And like by the time Pearl Jam got to their like 4th album, like rock was dead. Rock was not for the masses anymore. So I say all this to say, please, Beyonce, make a great rock and roll album and have Rick Rubin produce it because he's in my top 3 favorite producers of all time. And I think he can get an organic sound, and he's really good at getting drum and bass sounds. And you can and she's got the voice for it. She could do fucking Tina Turner's Private Dancer. She could do this fucking album. That's got the pop songs and has the R&B stuff on it, but it's my favorite Tina Turner song, Steel Claw, is on this album. It rocks harder than 90% of rock music.
So to go off your Rick Rubin premise, if you look at he did the Beastie Boys stuff, right?
Oh yeah, and Johnny Cash.
you look
And
at
the Chili Peppers.
so you look at, and I think that, and I say the Beastie Boys because to me, the Beastie Boys sounded like rap because they were rapping, but they also sounded like a lot of rock and roll infused, and I think that's a lane she could get in. Like Jay-Z with, damn 99 problems, but it ain't one. Like that kind, and that was the Rick Rubin song because he did the I think he did that album or a lot of that album for Jay. Like that kind of vibe Beyonce could slide into because I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to go on. I think Jay's helping her write some of her stuff now. Maybe not the Cowboy album, maybe not the last one, but I feel like her sound changed because she stopped having R&B singers write for her and she was trying to write on her own more. But I also think that if Jay-Z's your husband, you're going to say, hey, what do you think? Hey, because...
Well, you're waking up in the middle of the night with an idea for the song and the guy's in the bed next to you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'd use them too,
Exactly. But, I just, what are your thoughts about her doing a rock album?
Well, again, there's no confirmation Rick Rubin's producing it, but if anybody's listening to this that's in Beyonce's camp, I would be all about like, call up Jimmy Iovine if Jimmy Iovine's still working. Call up Rick Rubin. Call up there's a handful of people I could think of. Like call up Dave Cobb. Dave Cobb would be perfect for this project. He produces like Chris Stapleton, the first couple Jason Isbell albums, Sturgill's first couple records. Because for me, like obviously we want good lyrics, good melodies, but for me, what I'm specifically looking for is production quality that doesn't sound like all the plastic stuff that's coming out of major corporate interest places. And that's another thing with Taylor is that she writes all of her lyrics and she writes a lot of her melodies, but all the co-writes that she does are with the best of the best people. And she works with different ones based on her needs. What's going to serve this song better? So what I would say to Beyonce is like, don't like with Cowboy Carter, you're just calling up the best people that are in that scene.
That's what you do.
If you're doing rock, call up the guy that's been able to do all of it, Rick Rubin. That's my pitch.
Yeah.
And he ain't getting any younger. He ain't no spring chicken, and he would say that. You know?
Call up Jewel, call up, Eric Clapton, and it doesn't mean that you. Who's not?
But could you? And
if Beyonce called you, you're gonna be like, well, I actually don't have to. No,
dude.
Anybody's gonna listen to her. Dude, and I'm telling you, they're collide. They're on the road. I guarantee you, there's a collab for them at some point in the future.
Who for who?
Beyonce and Taylor.
Maybe.
Because wouldn't that put everybody on their butt that tries to pit them against? Because they're not really in.
They're not the Beatles. And look, one of my top 3 favorite British bands: the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Led Zeppelin. And everybody likes to say you're either the Beatles or the Stones. You're either Beyonce or Taylor. And it's like, do I gravitate more towards Taylor? I do. But Beyonce's been around my whole life. Destiny's Child, like those singles came out when I was in 2nd grade, 3rd grade. Say my name, say my name.
Yeah.
One is around you. Like, dude, you just said something I hadn't thought about yet. Get Eric Clapton. Get Carlos Santana. Call up Mark Knopfler. Get the guys, like get the guitar players that are still alive. Get them up and be like, I kind of want to do this like R&B rock with a little Mexican influence, Spanish influence. Carlos Santana, you're my boy. I want to do like a power ballad. Let's call up Clapton.
Get Lenny.
There's
so many people. There are so many people. Get Lauryn Hill. And I know Lauryn Hill. Are you telling me people want to pee on themselves to hear Lauryn Hill and Beyonce do? I don't care.
Did I? I don't think I told you this. I listened to the Fugees' first album, the score for the first time all the way through like 3 months ago. I must have played it 50 times, dude. What? Oh yeah. I mean, that came out in 96, so I'm sure you ate that shit up when it came out. But like, I wasn't very like I knew who Lauryn Hill was, obviously. Like, I don't live under a rock. but like, long story short, I was out planting my garden and I had a playlist on and it ended, and their cover of No Woman, No Cry started, and I left it on. And then I ate up her records. That one she does with Nas, If I Ruled the World.
Yeah.
That was my most played song in the month of May. But like, dude, yes.
Listen.
Call them up.
Listen to Blunted on Reality. The first album.
The first Fugees album.
Where Lauren's rapping and she's singing a little bit. It's before
she's like singing.
Man, listen. I used to listen to that all the time because you could tell that they were hungry. They were thirsty. They, weren't. I want it. Mm-hmm. And that's why a lot of people, one of the hardest things for me is that I got to like book and I'm not saying this to brag, when I got to like book 8 or 9, when I was like, what do I come up? I think I read something by Sonia Sanchez. I read one of her books, or Nikki Giovanni, one of them. And I was just like, oh, okay. You need sometimes something to bring it back. It's hard to stay inspired.
You do. But I'm still thinking about the score. What a freaking album, dude. Yep. And like, she is such a great singer.
Yeah. She's so think about it. She's doing all this offhand random stuff and she still sounds great.
But anyway, so Beyonce, the rock record, look, it's a new Beyonce album. Of course I'm going to listen to it when it comes out. I love music. I love Beyonce. I root for Beyonce. I respect Beyonce, So yeah, for sure. And I'm calling it now. I'm willing it in the air. I've told my whole family this multiple times. They don't think I'm a fucking nut. Taylor Swift's the TV version of the debut will come out in 2026 because it's 20th anniversary. So for all you Swiftie people out there, I know y'all want it now, but that's what makes the most sense, because now that she's got her masters back, there's no like pressure to like put this out, and it's already recorded. So are the vault tracks. Mm-hmm. So I'm willing it. I think next spring it comes out, and if I'm gonna double down on it. Next spring, March. Mm-hmm. The debut TV version comes out. October, she puts out a new album. And then maybe next winter, Beyonce puts out a new album. Or I could see Beyonce putting out a new album next summer. The rock album. Have they started it yet?
It's still speculation. It's just, I don't know that she's necessarily going to do it. This is the problem. I think that it's great for her that she won the Grammy, but it's not good for her that she won a Grammy. You have all of these years of R&B and pop and singing, all this stuff and then you have to go into another genre just so you can reinvent yourself, which is okay, because I understand that. It'd be like if I won a Pulitzer for writing a novel. Yeah, okay.
Did you see American Fiction?
I didn't finish it, sir.
Oh.
You keep asking me.
You saw like the first hour of it, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So like that was kind of the whole thing with that movie, is like he writes all of these like
great,
like, very smart intellectual that nobody buys. And then it's like the lowest common denominator, basically writing like Boys in the Hood. And now everybody loves this shit. Is that kind of what you're saying about Beyonce? Yep. It's like he had to go over here to get that.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
And I think, and I'm not saying that it's bad. I just think that I think it makes it raises eyes for me that maybe she's getting to the point where you need to start ramping down. And I know, and telling her to retire, like, that's what she does.
No, don't retire. Like, this is what I would say, again, if I'm willing it into the air. But, like, make a singer-songwriter album, Beyonce.
Yeah.
Your voice is so good that you could just be backed by piano or acoustic guitar, or maybe some light drums with playing them with brushes, and you would slay it. You would slay it.
She could put anything out, and she.
But like that, but that would be a way to go down. That would be a way to like make a roots kind of vibe, real grounded sort of thing. I could talk about this shit all day, but should we transition to movies in the box?
Let's get to the VHS tapes. So you have this massive, immaculate collection of VHS tapes
that are all organized.
that because you have OCD. Um,
Do I?
Everybody with ADHD has OCD.
Oh,
It's a through line. It's not a cold door. You just have the traits.
Thank you. This has been our therapy moment for the show.
If you could only save one VHS tape, which one would you save?
Only one, even if it's a box set?
You could do a box set and start a new collection with.
Man, it's because I have all the original Star Wars tapes. I have multiple copies of the original prints. But if I had to, I would keep my Indiana Jones trilogy box set that I got in 3rd grade at Toys R Us for my birthday.
How do I know you had a specific answer? I love it.
Well, I'm just you want to if I can only keep one, I want to keep one that wasn't like a recent buy. I want something that I've carried with me and like actually watched the tapes growing up. And that's one.
If you had to pick the first one to get rid of, like,
oh, dude, there's fucking 50 of them I'm ready to flip, like just take a loss on them. Because when I first got into this, it was so new and I didn't know anything about it. I know a lot about it now.
Yeah.
So when I'd see stuff for 50 cents or $1, I would just buy it, just kind of to buy it. So like I probably have like 50 tapes that I'm like, why did I buy that one? Because now you're like, I got to make more room. And it's funny, those pictures I took, those are from May when we were supposed to do this show. So I've actually built 2 here. I'll show you guys real quickly. Had to build more Disney shelves because that middle shelf is all Spanish versions of Disney movies that I found at a thrift store. And then the ones above it, I got at Goodwill and Facebook Marketplace.
So how did you get into it? How did you say, I'm going to start collecting VHS tapes?
After they went out of print back in the day. Yeah. So what happened was we were in the pandemic and I had just launched this YouTube channel. And it was right around the time we had launched Characters of Culture. You had launched Everyday Experts. Renaissance Man was still a thing. And I wanted to kind of spiff up my studio. And I had gotten an original print of Rocky at a thrift store for 50 cents a few years earlier. And I was like, this is just so cool. Like, I like this. So I would need to get out of the house periodically. And it was always safe for me to go to like a thrift store, but like in a small town, not like around where I live. So I'd like drive a half an hour just to go do something. And I went into one and I didn't know it at the time, like how much these tapes are actually worth.
Yeah.
But I went into one and they had Rear Window, which that's not really worth anything, but I got a copy of Rear Window directed by Alfred Hitchcock. And I got a copy of the original Halloween, which is actually worth like it's not the original print, so it's a print from its 20th anniversary, 1998. So it's only worth like $10 or $15. But anyways, and I was like, I'm gonna get these and I'm gonna put them in the studio. So I've always had this shelf that I garbage picked. This is a VHS shelf that I garbage picked in 2022, and this was 2021, and I was like, this is cool. So then what would happen is periodically I would go to Disc Replay or a thrift store. And excuse me. And it just started out as like, oh, I have to have this one. So I got like an original copy of First Blood. You know?
Oh.
Yeah. That's freaking awesome. Like Stallone all day. You know, I got a couple of Disney ones, like the ones that, because our tapes were all here. All right. Before I continue, I want to say something. I understand the psychology of thrifting for videotapes. There's a lot that goes into it. And I feel that nobody on the internet talks about this. And I am the one person that should have a degree in the psychology of how to find the videotapes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, for example, and I'm sure you would know this. Kids movies, a lot of times the cases are crushed or they got crayon drawn on them or the tapes got mark around, right? Because why? They were in a child's possession. That's what happened to all of our tapes growing up. Like we didn't like we lost the case to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by the time I was in kindergarten. It was just a fucking sleeveless tape that we had. Okay. So I started collecting some of the Disney, like the ones that I had to have. So
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Toy Story 2, the Rescuers Down Under,
Yep.
the Aristocats. And then in 2020, by the time like the end of 2021 rolled around, I was going, I want the whole Disney collection. So I started on that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2022, I'll admit, by the summer of 2022 through the summer of 2023, I was in a different phase in my life. I had questioned my career. I wanted a family. It was a whole thing. It's a long story. We don't need to get into it. But after all that fucking blew the fuck up, and I about fell off the world. Credit to Akili here. He was great the whole
Thank
time.
you.
I started kind of living again.
Mm-hmm.
And this would have been early 24. And my sisters were over one day and they said, hey, there's that new Goodwill outlet. Do you want to go? And I was like, sure. And they had bins of movies and they're all $1 each. So I got the Jurassic Park trilogy. They just happen to have them. And I got Titanic on widescreen. I still have my family's blue tape set of Titanic, the cropped version. But I got it on widescreen. And dude, that was it. And then I started researching it and was like, oh, this is so cool. And like now I've got, I don't count them because I don't want to know how many I got. The most I paid for a tape was $10. Mad Monster Party, which is very hard to find. It's a Rankin Bass Halloween special. Rankin Bass, same company that made Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, A Year Without Santa Claus. I have a whole collection. But most, I would say 95% of the tapes that I have, I paid between 50 cents and $1 for. Wow. And the DVDs, there's a couple of them, like a couple seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm, I got at a thrift store for like $2.99. But like all of the DVDs that I got that are purchases from the last year and a half were all $1, including box sets. I got the entire Planet of the Apes box set for $1. I got the entire Tennessee Williams film picture box set for $1. I got, the complete, dude, I just fucking picked up Friends, the complete, and I'm not even a Friends person. I got the entire Friends series in a box set on Blu-ray for $1 at the Goodwill outlet. I got the whole fucking thing.
Wow, that's wild.
So like, did you see that movie that I'm blanking on the name of the movie? Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke are in it. The Obamas produced it. It's like The End of the World. Came out 2 years ago. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a Netflix.
Don't Look Up?
No. It came out like 2 years ago. Well, spoiler alert, the girl in the show, like the whole plot line for her is she hadn't seen the last season or the last episode of Friends. And then at the end of the movie, the world, like we go into nuclear war and they're in a bunker and the bunker has the complete series of Friends. So she's finally able to watch the last episode or the last season or whatever. But yeah, so like, that's what I got in like last summer. I got a copy of Videodrome. So like, I know what they're all worth.
Yeah.
I got a copy of Videodrome, the Cronenberg film, and I sold it for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. I paid $1 for it. I've gotten a handful of movies like that. That one I got the most for. But yeah, sorry. You got more questions?
Why sorry?
I go on long rants. I'm very long-winded.
You're not ranting.
I'm like Alex Jones. I'm methylene blue. You know.
What's a video that you would love to get that you don't have? A, and number B, do you have an inventory somewhere besides the one in your head?
So I have a list. There's about 125 movies on it. That's all that's left. So I don't need to know my inventory. I just need to know what's on the list because that's what's left to buy, and then I will own everything I've ever wanted.
Wow.
So like, for example, it's not just one, but like I'm missing. So there's 4 editions of the James Bond movies. I have the whole 4th edition because I purchased those at Target growing up. But I'm missing like half of the CBS Fox ones. I'm missing 3 of the what I call the Black Label series, and then 4 of the MGM series. I call it the gold series. I just make this stuff up because there's no real name for them.
Yeah.
Companies just made tapes.
Yeah.
Now, probably the big ones are I want to finish my Disney Gold collection. I have the entire Classics and Masterpiece series. But if there was only one tape, there's one tape. Now I could go on eBay, but I don't cheat. I've never bought an album off of eBay. I've never bought a video tape off of eBay. I'm full-blown natural. Okay. Now I've gotten gifts. I got Lana Del Rey, and I think I got a Taylor Swift album and Jason Isbell. I've gotten those as gifts on vinyl, right?
Yeah.
There's one. And that would be the 1979 original VHS print of The Exorcist. And it goes for about $75 on eBay. And if I don't find it by this fall, my sister Margaret, who's also into thrifting, she collects cassette tapes and videotapes now as well. She keeps telling me, she's like, just fucking buy it. You're never going to find it. You're never going to. And she's probably right. But it comes in a clamshell plastic case, and it's got the green label, and it's the cover of The Exorcist with the silhouette of.
Yeah.
That would be the one. And then like number 2 would be Robert Altman's Nashville, which is a 2-tape box set. Again, that's worth like $15 on eBay, so I could just buy that whenever I wanted to, but I haven't.
How come no other different kind of physical media?
What do you mean? Like, why don't I collect laser discs?
This or Blu-ray or
so to be fair, it started out as videotapes, but like when you're at the outlet and you find Dunkirk on Blu-ray for $1, what are you going to not buy it? Are you not going to buy Interstellar on Blu-ray? So like, yeah, I probably have like 20, 25 Blu-rays now. I also buy CDs and I buy cassettes, but those lists are a lot shorter. So like, for example, here's a good one. This sounds infinitely better than it does on Spotify. Okay. Why? The album was made in 1980. This is an analog album, folks. Okay. And not to get too nerdy, but this is still 16 bits. Okay. Now, streaming has gotten tremendously better in the last 10 years. Like Neil Young launched Pono a decade ago as a whole thing because the rate on MP3s was so big. But VHS, obviously, also because they're so big and they take up the most space, that's the most noticeable. Yeah. I've probably bought 50 CDs in the last 18 months, but you just don't notice them because they're so much smaller. Laser discs, I have 2 laser discs. I was at a garage sale and got On the Waterfront. Kazan film with Marlon Brando. And then I was at a Goodwill recently and picked up Double Indemnity, directed by Billy Wilder.
Wow.
On Laserdisc, and Gene Shalit is on the cover because it was Gene Shalit's pick for this movie. And I was like, that's so cool, like aesthetically on the wall.
Yeah.
But I don't collect Laserdiscs because I'll never watch them. I'll never watch any of these tapes. I don't buy them. Dude, I bought 5 VCRs at garage sales and thrift stores. None of them work. Now, I learned how to take them apart and clean them so they work. I'm trying to make money writing a movie right now. But like, you know. Yeah. Do you collect any physical media?
I have a bunch of DVDs and VHS tapes. No, not as many VHS tapes. I have a bunch of DVDs. I don't really watch them anymore because I don't even think I have a DVD player that works.
Yeah, most people don't.
I might. I don't have time to watch it. I'm just, I spend a lot of my existence on YouTube, watching YouTube videos and reels and stuff like that. I like the short burst media. I like the short burst, like, to be able to watch stuff. But I also like to learn stuff about ADHD, about autism, about anxiety, about stress. So I do a lot of that kind of research as well on YouTube because I can send somebody a YouTube video who's neurodivergent and they can get a 5-minute video as opposed to a 4-page journal paper that they won't read.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm not. What the fuck am I gonna read anything for? Just tell me. Or now I can just have the sexy lady tell me through the voice thing on my phone. Dude, we're this close to fuck robots with real human skin. It's gonna be amazing.
Of course it is. It's gonna be wild.
I don't want one. I want a human, but you could see me totally buying a sex slave robot that has real human skin. Not like actual real, but like looks like a real human.
I know. You're gonna find somebody to take the skin off. What happens when you get all of them you ever wanted when your list is done?
So my actual therapist has asked me this question, like, would you ever sell off your collection? Once I'm so this is one of the reasons. So I'll just throw this out there now. I keep dragging my feet on launching it. It's going to be called Movies in the Box, and it'll be an Instagram thing. Okay. Because I want to share all of this with the world, because one of the downsides is you get to look at the sides of all these, but the covers are amazing. So I want to take picture of the front, picture of the spine, picture of the back, right? 3 photos for each post. And I got enough. I could post twice a day and I'd have enough for 2 years. But want to launch Movies in the Box. People can appreciate it. But once I have everything, I could see myself selling off like 85% of the collection. Because I know what everything's worth. Some of it I would just make my money back on, but I would have the photos, the posts on Instagram, they'd live for forever, right? Would have those. But I would keep, like, for example, my Disney collection, because I plan on, I'm really into this shit. There's only one person that I know of in all of YouTube that has a bigger Disney collection than I do. And they have 500 tapes. I don't really collect live action. I have a lot of live action. I find it animated, but neither here nor there. My point is this. You go on eBay and somebody will be selling, or Facebook Marketplace, somebody will be selling like 10 random ass Disney tapes for $20 or $25. Okay. If I have the whole collection though, Akili, I could set the price, because literally, where the hell else can you go buy the whole Disney collection? I check eBay every other day. Nobody. Nobody's even trying to sell a quarter of it. So, like, I keep saying $10,000. It wouldn't really be $10,000, but like legitimately $5,000.
Wow.
Legit, like, that's what I would sell it for. And I know somebody, because, like, again, the further we go into, like, that's why I'm doing this now as well, is because in 5 years you won't be able to find all these tapes.
Yep.
Because they'll all be in landfills or just gone.
Yep.
So to me, yes, I would sell my Disney collection. I have duplicates of like the real important ones, so I'd keep those for myself. But I would sell probably maybe even 90% of my collection. I keep all the ones I still have from childhood, and then like certain ones, like the Rocky series or whatever, the Exorcist. You know.
Okay. What else would you want to collect if you could?
Oh, I'm kind of at capacity. I mean, like, dude, I started out collecting records when I was in 5th grade. You know, and then by the time I was in my early 20s, all the hipsters were buying them all up. And dude, like, my record collection, I don't want anybody to break in my house, but my record collection is worth a lot of money, because I got Back in Black for 50 cents at a garage sale when they were giving them away in 2001. Like, I have pristine copies of all of Bruce Springsteen, and like, I go the Beatles, all on down the line. I go to Disc Replay, which is like a resale store for like used records, and an album that I would have bought there for $4, like Hotel California in 2009, it's going for $35-$40 now. So my point is like, I've always been collecting something, and one of the things that I lost was I kind of own most of the vinyl I would ever really want, and the stuff that I still want, like, actually I did get a couple Otis Redding albums last year at a garage sale, but like, dude, Otis Redding's top 3 vocalists of all. Otis Redding, Roy Orbison, like, all fucking day. But my point is, I have 90% of what I would ever want, and the 10% I don't have. Dude, you find a copy of the Velvet Underground, any of those albums, like, good luck. It's going to be $100. Okay. So I went through this phase where I kind of felt lost in the world. Like, I look at this in retrospect, because I wasn't collecting. I wasn't doing my hobby. I was fully invested in my career, which is great. Everybody needs to do that. But the VHS thing is really kind of more than anything. The VHS thing brought me back into the real world after the pandemic.
I like it. That says a lot.
Do you think I'm crazy for collecting videotapes?
Sir, I literally talk to people who play Pokemon for 15 hours a day.
Oh.
There's not much that you do that I think's crazy.
Okay.
It's context, you know. I have people that I'm trying to think of something. A lot of stuff around like anime and video games, and I had one guy tell me about the history of Pokemon every day in the car for about 7 months. Every day when we were together, I learned all about Pokemon and the history and the origins. So the hyperfixation doesn't surprise me, but it works for you.
Well, it keeps me level too. I mean, like, you know, I don't think I've ever told you this, but I don't give a shit. I got not much to hide. You know, I spent most of my life without an owner's manual or with the wrong owner's manual. And sometime in the last 6-9 months, I found the actual owner's manual to me. And it's like, oh, I gotta turn this thing on, and you gotta turn that thing down, and you know, like, oh, and it's not perfect. Like, trust me, a lot of shit wrong with me, but like, oh, that all makes sense now.
But clarity is super important.
And it's like, once I figured that out,
yeah.
You know, there's just so many things now that I just don't give a shit what people think. You know what I mean? So,
what how come you don't collect 8-tracks?
I do have an 8-track collection.
That's ridiculous.
I garbage pick them. I call it curbside shopping.
I know.
I have like 7 or 8 of them. I got Dire Straits' first 2 albums, Donna Summer, Frank Sinatra, Live New York City, the main event. I grew up with that album on CD. Al Green's Greatest Hits, because the Reverend Al Green. I think that's all I got in 8-tracks. I got like 7 or 8 of them.
Okay, that's awesome.
And actually, the furniture, most of the furniture that you saw, not my couch, but most of the furniture you saw in that intro video is all curbside shopped furniture that I got this past season.
That's wild.
And it's all fucking perfect condition. I got it all for free. So
get a man. I'm trying to think. Anything else? And we're not gonna lie, I have to get up early, and I'm tired because I'm old. How do you feel about Wednesday getting renewed approved for season 3? Jenna Ortega's on fire too.
Yeah, I've never watched the show.
Oh, okay.
I just like, again, nothing against it.
Yeah,
but like,
not your speed. I get
there's so many shows. You know, I watched The Last of Us. I'm behind on The Boys. You know, and that's another. It's a me thing. When we were doing the channel on the reg, it was like, oh, I gotta watch these 10 movies this week, and that's good. That was good for me.
Yeah.
But for me to stay in a hamster wheel for too long is dangerous. I gotta hop to another hamster wheel. So, I haven't really watched a lot of television. I finally finished Yellowstone. What do you think about Wednesday? Do you think it needs a season 3? Do you think like, we could be done with it?
I think that season 1 was mostly good. But like I said, I like Jenna Ortega a lot. I think she is surprisingly a really well-polished actress. I think that she plays characters. It's hard to say that like a misfit outcast person who is like intrinsically neurodivergent or intrinsically autistic, but also like spooky. It's hard to who do you compare her to say that, oh, that's not a good portrayal. I think she takes characters that are kooky and quirky because that's what you can lean into. But it's a really good show. I liked it. The last episode or two the first season was a little slow for me. I'm looking forward to season 2. I think she's hot right now. I think if they're gonna renew her until she's not hot right. Like she was just in Beetlejuice, and I've heard they're talking about Beetlejuice. So she's popular. Would you not? Did you hear Scarlett Johansson's back in Marvel? She's going to be in Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Okay. Look, here's my advice to Jenna Ortega. Keep making your money. You're doing great.
Yep.
Do something else. Get out of horror. You know, like do something else. You know, to reference Taylor Swift before we close it out, she made 2 country albums, and then she made 2 albums that they tried to sell you as country that were just incredible singer-songwriter music. And then she's like, you know what? Fuck this place. It's full of misogyny, and they want to put me in a box and label the box country.
Yeah.
I'm moving to New York, and I want to make pop music. And I could see Jenna Ortega. She's very talented. I think she could do other things. And I know she has. She did that movie with Martin Freeman last year, which I still haven't seen. She did that movie with Tommy Lee Jones. But zeitgeist, pop culture, makes a lot of money, gets good reviews. I want to see her do something else. I don't want to see another horror movie with Jenna Ortega. Again, it's nothing against her. What do you think?
I think because she looks she's 23, 24. She looks young, and I think she's getting those roles where she's the outcast because I think that's something she plays well. And I think a lot of people are scared to go outside of what they play well. I mean, because look at Denzel. He does different characters, yes, but are they so diametric? I mean, except for like Training Day and maybe like Ricochet, and he has movies that are different, but
he also you can't really compare Denzel to Jenna Ortega at this point. Denzel also proved he could do anything by 1995. Let's TO for a second. Glory. Yeah. Okay. Malcolm X. Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Okay. The Pelican Brief. Right? Those all came up between 89 and 95. The Preacher's Wife. You know, like, to your point, does he kind of do like, I'm cool, I'm Denzel running around with a gun the last 15 years on and off? Yeah. But I also just think he just does what he fucking wants to do because he earned that. You know what I'm saying? Like if all Taylor Swift made for the rest of her life was songs about heartbreak, you know, or whatever, I'm in. I'm going to go. Denzel puts out a new movie, Gladiator 2 was fine. He was great in it. I'm going to go.
Of course you are. And I think that, I was just saying more so, it's not bad that she's doing something different, that she wants to get money. I would like to see, I think to your point, I think she plays the weirdo, kooky kid really well.
Well, what's the difference between her character in Wednesday and her character in Beetlejuice 2? What's the difference?
You tell me.
I couldn't find one. And I've not ever seen a single episode of Wednesday, but I get the gist.
Yeah.
I'm aware of the Addams Family, I don't live under a rock.
Yep.
But, well, anyways, we're gonna wind things down, but this has been a blast. I feel like we just caught up on 3 months of the giant pop culture news.
Yeah.
And we did we didn't even plan on it, but we somehow talked about like the state of America for the first half an hour. Like that was a win. We should probably do more of that because I feel people might listen to us just because we're not crazy people that are bought and paid for by Big Pharma or the military industrial complex.
Well, I am bought and paid for. I don't know who's paying me.
You haven't seen the checks yet. That's the.
Well, it's in the mail.
Is it with the Jeffrey Epstein client list?
It might. You know what? They might be in the same FedEx package. Actually,
I think that plane went down in the Bermuda Triangle.
You know what? That makes sense, sir. Well, sir, it's always a pleasure. We got to get on movies, mental health, maybe close to the end of the month. Well, what am I saying? It's the end of the month.
This is the end of the month, bro.
Maybe
the end of August.
Maybe the beginning of next month.
Yeah.
Get on something
We'll
soon.
do something. We'll definitely for our audience. There's 5 people watching the show right now. How's it going, everybody? Glad to see y'all. We'll definitely do 2 more of these streams this year. And then probably we'll just log into StreamYards one day and they'll say, we don't have a free version anymore. And then that's when I'll say,
you're done. You're done.
My time in front of the camera has expired, And you know what the worst part about all this is like, I fucking look great. Like I've been hitting it at the gym. I'm losing weight, intermittent fasting, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm like, I'm retiring from being on stage or in front of the camera. I just want to be behind the scenes. And that's usually like when people let themselves go and they start wearing like shirts like this and they just get, big. I don't know. Dude, what do you got going on? Like, you got anything you want to promote? You working on anything?
Right now, I'm trying to line up a couple of people for experts, probably next month.
Okay.
I am working on that diligently. Trying to get into my new book. I don't have fucking time now. It's crazy. Everything's going on right now. Like Armani started middle school on Monday. Heaven starts high school in the next month. Sorry. Excuse me. Devin starts college the end of next month. So it's a lot of dadding going on. And I want to say I got like 55, 60 people on my caseload for a lot.
That's a lot, dude. That's a lot of background stories to remember and juggle. I asked my therapist this once. I was like, I know roughly how many clients you have. I was like, how do you just keep their whole life story in order? But you guys are trained to do that, apparently.
I take notes and I'll have like just things that are a keyword. I don't remember every detail, but people will start telling me stories and I'll remember the stories. So it's like in context, like, oh, I'm invested in you. But there are clients where I'm looking at the name. I'm like, I don't even remember who it is. And they'll pop on. I'll be like, oh, okay. And I see a lot of people. So for them, I'm their only therapist. For me, it's, on Mondays and Wednesdays, I have like 11, 12 clients a day.
If you would like me as a client, because I like to do, how like on like those long shows like Game of Thrones or something, like whenever they're doing
recap,
they do like a 2-minute recap. So I always do that, and I'll do like asides, and I'll go, maybe you remember, maybe you don't, but just to refresh your memory, and I'll give like 2 sentences.
Yeah,
and I feel that really helps them.
Yeah,
they're trying to help me, and I'm trying to help them remember everything.
I mean, there's some people who just have like such wild stories that you're just like, oh yeah, I remember.
I remember that one. That's the garbage picker.
You stupid. All right, sir. Well, I'm off to enjoy 47. And I do want to remind people that Joker is better than Lex. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah. Everybody wish this guy a happy birthday. His birthday's coming up on Sunday. Sunday fun day.
Yes, sir.
And I'm Rob Fishbeck. Currently just got done writing a movie. Did the whole second of it. And gonna start tightening that up. I'm going to production on a movie that I'm not making, or but they want me to be a part of it. So I'm going there next month. Yeah. It's an indie, no shade. Self-funded. It's not. I'm not going to work for Warner Brothers. I don't want to work for Zoloft anyways. David Zoloft. It's a fucking But you know what? People call him that, but it's like, isn't Zoloft supposed to be an antidepressant? Like
Yeah.
Warner Bros. Is just periodically just depressing.
What is it? Zaslav he's done a lot with Warner Brothers in the time he's been there.
Oh, he's got, well, I mean, yeah, there's been a handful of things that they've done, but I don't think I would credit him. Like I would credit Villeneuve with Dune. I would credit Matt Reeves with the Batman movies. You know what I mean?
No, I'm talking about like systematically, like
Oh, sure, yeah.
as a company, like cutting certain things and you know what? It's so much monkey see, monkey do with between Marvel and DC and Warner Brothers and Disney, and it's just like, oh, you're trying to get the same audience. You're kind of doing the same things. I will say that it does seem like Warner Brothers has stayed a little bit more away from like the woke that Disney is entrenched in. But that's it.
Things come and go, ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
There's popular trends. I think, I think the state of the movies right now is in pretty much fucking shambles. So hopefully we can work out some kinks in it. But that's neither here nor there. Thank you all for joining us. This has been an absolute pleasure. We'll do it again soon. Stay safe, be well, and
Joker out.
Rock and roll.